safely, yes. Right, yeah. That's my final answer. Cooking safely. I'm terrible.
I am a straight donation station in Jupiter.
If you're low on cash, call Sawhead.
Give us a moment, FP. Give us a moment. Right in the middle.
Go, squeeze.
Can we just please stop saying this a moment ago?
Subtle signs that you're playing with a stick.
A bag? You want me to be intimidated by a fucking bag? What is up, Golf Sickos? I'm going to start, as always, by... Nope, not by sipping the tea. Ben.
Oh, we're cracking open the grape.
Cracking open the grape.
We'll find out what happens.
You got to take some, too. Ben Boscovich is here. It's only natural because Wyndham Clark, Mr. Grape himself, is the 2026 United States Open champion. What a huge show we have for you guys. We have our 18 parting thoughts from the U.S. Open. We're going to cover it all. We're going to cover the Wyndham hate, the vitriol. It's pretty aggressive. We're going to talk about Shinnecock as a test. We're going to talk about Joaquin Niemann's wild week, another clunker from Bryson, unfortunately, and a great showing from the amateurs. There is so much to discuss. Before we dive in, we have our 18 parting thoughts. I always have a couple bonus ones at the top. I talk a lot on the show about the two major club. I feel like there's a lot of guys in this generation that are stuck on two majors. Wyndham Clark is now in that group. So Wyndham Clark now has the same amount of majors as Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, Bryson DeChambeau, Colin Morikawa, and Dustin Johnson. I thought it was also awesome and very fitting that the U.S. Open at Shinnecock came down to basically a layup from the cabbage on the left side of 16. Wyndham really didn't have it. He did not have it at all day. He was battling his golf swing. He hit some ratchet golf shots, like way the fuck left, to the point where he himself was saying, like, what's going on right now? I can't believe how bad these shots that are hitting. It was a battle all day, and a battle with himself, with his golf swing, but also a battle with the crowd. A crowd that was rooting for literally anyone else to win, but he got it done largely because of that layup and that birdie on 16, which allowed him some breathing room, which he needed, because he bogeyed 17, and then it was an incredible lag putt on 18. And then Sam Burns walked away. Very sad. It was a very, very sad camera shot when they had... I don't know if you saw the full version. All we saw on the broadcast was like him walking very sad. They had the view from the range where he's hitting balls. He stops to watch. He sees the putt.
The moment he sees
sees the putt finish literally 6 inches from the hole, and he just turns away, puts his club. And I kind of wanted a playoff. Because playoffs are great. We love playoffs. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, what was the last time there was a playoff in the U.S. Open? Oh, it was 2008. What happened then? It was epic. Tiger versus Rocco, 18 holes on Monday. You know what the playoff is now for U.S. Open? It's 2-hole aggregate. You know what I think about getting rid of the 18-hole Monday playoff for 2-hole aggregate?
Utter woke nonsense.
It's woke nonsense.
Yeah, we talked about this on the watch-along.
Yeah.
It's okay if it replaces something not cool, like an 18-hole playoff. If it replaces a sudden death, cool. Swap in a 2-hole aggregate on any tournament. I'm down with that.
You should have to earn it. Go back to that golf course. Make it crispier. Oh, well, what about the people who work and aren't able to watch? I don't give a fuck about that.
They're stoked on it, too.
It's Sicko's only show maybe on Monday. That doesn't bother me, and I understand why they do it. They don't want to have to, stick around, house everybody for another night. But the 18-hole playoff to decide a United States Open, it is kind of amazing, by the way. I think it's been like 18 or 19 straight U.S. Opens without a playoff.
Right.
There's been playoffs in the Masters. There's been, it's just kind of wild that there are, playoffs in the PGA Championship.
With a leaderboard that's typically so tight, too,
right,
among the top guys.
It's a little bit of like a statistical anomaly. Okay, the story of the day, though, was the crowd. It was the crowd. It started very early. It did not stop. We had our guy, Alan Shipnuck. He was on site. Let's hear from Alan Shipnuck.
What a crazy day at Shinnecock Hills. This was the most deplorable fan behavior since the last big golf event on Long Island, September's Ryder Cup. But I never thought I'd see an American playing his own national championship be treated the way Wyndham Clark was. The abuse was relentless from the first shot of the day, people yelling, "Get in the fescue," all the way into the last putt. It was nonstop. Even the apathy hurt. He made a huge putt for par on number 4, dead silence. Even a little exhale of oh man, I'm sorry he did that. Certainly some folks wanted to see Scottie Scheffler make history. Some people just wanted a close finish. But Wyndham Clark brought some of this upon himself with his behavior over the last year. He used the word redemption for this victory. That might be a little rich, but given what he just went through, this absolute crucible, to come out as the champion, one of the ballsiest performances we've seen in a long time. So in a weird way, the fans made this memorable. It could have been a boring Sunday blowout victory. I think they got in Wyndham's head early, and they forced him to dig deep. And so the fans did what Sam Sam Burns and Scotty Scheffler could not. They actually delivered. So it was messy. It was chaotic. It was unpleasant. It was probably unfair at times, but all credit to Wyndham Clark. He persevered and he overcame. So an otherwise mediocre U.S. Open turned into one that we will not soon forget. And my favorite quip, it's a bad day to be a locker. That was kind of epic. All right, that's the report from Sunday night here in the press room at Shinnecock Hills.
Good stuff from Alan. We did see the lockers. They had a shot of Sam Burns. He was in the locker after. He was very disappointed, and they looked stunningly similar to.
It's a good day to be a locker. The guy that destroys them has no reason.
The guy who won. There were no lockers hurt in the making of this United States Open.
I won't say locker again. I promise. I'm done with that.
You're done with it?
Yeah, we'll finish the show. But
Wyndham was saying, this is when we had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking this is like the last time I'm going to talk about the lockers," which is basically like, stop fucking.
47 more
lockers.
comments.
It's kind of it's sort of poetic, or poetic's probably not the right word. I mean, Alan got mad at him for using redemption. It's ironic, I should say, that exactly 1 year after probably the lowest moment of his golfing life, destroying that locker and being the punching bag of the internet, he leaves with the trophy at the same golf tournament. Before we hop into our 18 parting thoughts, got to give a shout out to Knockaround.
Oh, yeah.
It was really sunny all week.
Super helpful.
It was super, and I'm going back to the Paso Robles. I like these ones. These are lighter. My wife tells me that dark sunglasses is not great for my light complexion. Your dark sunglasses.
Always.
You've got the panoramas, look fantastic. We've got a promo code for you for these Knockarounds, and they are the best sunglasses for the right price. They're the best sunglasses for the right price. How about a third time? The best sunglasses for the right price. Stop spending stupid money on sunglasses. You don't treat them well. I don't treat mine well. I put sun cream on. And I put my hands all over them. I shove them in my golf bag. I throw them in the backpack, and these just answer the call every single time that I turn to them. So head to knockaround.com. Look at all of the golf sunglasses that they have on order. You can go to knockaround.com/golf, sort by golf, but you can look at other ones too. There's no rule that you have to only wear golf sunglasses on the golf course. Use the promo code DanOnGolf20. Knockaround.com, promo code DanOnGolf20. You get 20% off your order. We're getting to the heat of summer. I think today's actually the first official day of summer.
Is it today or yesterday? Within the past 24 hours, it became summer.
The solstice, yes, the solstice is the longest day of the year. Get yourself some sunglasses. It is time. Okay, let's hop in to my first one. This was the second event on Long Island in 2 years, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Long Island, maybe not the best golf fans in the world. Maybe not the best golf fans in the world. Look, Wyndham Clark might not be your cup of tea, and judging by the reaction of the fans on site, judging by what we saw online, the odds are he's not your cup of tea. But surely at some point we can let bygones be bygones. Like, he acted like an idiot at Oakmont, for sure, and he's owned that. And he's admitted it. But there are figures in our sport, and I'm not going to say them, but you know who I'm talking about, who have done a lot worse than take out their frustration on a locker and they get a pass. And I said this on the stream. I don't mind, fans rooting for a close competition or rooting sort of against a player. The villain dynamic jumps off the screen. It's not the worst thing ever. But life is not black and white. There's a line. When a ball rolls into a bunker with that's okay, right? If a guy, misses a putt and it's, that's fine. But yelling, get in the bunker a second after the guy hits a shot, or get in the fescue right after a guy makes impact. The one that was most stunning to me was Wyndham Clark makes this incredible putt on the 70th hole of the tournament to win. And it's a 25-foot birdie putt. He gives this huge fist pump, and they go to that wide angle camera, and behind him is literally 4 guys out of probably 500 going. You know what I thought of that reaction?
Shit.
I thought it was a shit reaction. Mind your damn manners to these fans. Fool me once, I guess it's sort of shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I guess this is what's going to happen when they go to Long Island. It was the most partisan crowd that I've seen in a long time. The only thing that I can sort of think back to was anytime Matt Fitzpatrick is in contention in the United States, they chant USA, but this was an American on home soil. And I feel like with the Matt stuff, they're chanting USA. It's, more in support of someone than against someone else. And then when he makes the putt to beat Scotty in the playoff, you respect a performance. Yeah. There was a lack of respect. So, and I guess I'm more just taken back by the vitriol toward Wyndham than the manifestation of that vitriol. Like, I just don't really understand why everyone hates him that much. And it definitely doesn't bother him very much. So when I had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, I asked him what it's been like being a target, and he said, "At least I'm a target," which is, he's definitely got a little bit of fuckboy energy.
Weber.
And then when asked in his post-round press conference about the fan reaction this week, he went to a similar place. Here's Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot of grief, since last year, rightfully so. The thing that's unfortunate is that's not who I am, what happened last year. And I'm hoping I could win back the fans that I had or some new fans, because it was a terrible incident. And I really feel like I can show people that I'm fun and outgoing. I'm fierce, competitive, love the game, respect the game, and I just had a bad moment. So hopefully I can win those people back. And I definitely feel like I'm in a better place. And hopefully a great weekend and a great rest of the year. Maybe I'll gain all those fans back.
He did say after the round, he goes, "I hope not to be the heel of the PGA, but if I am, then all press is good press." So there's definitely a little bit of him like.
There's an acceptance.
And I almost feel like he's kind of having fun with it. And listen, if he just stays off the internet, which I would advise a lot of people to do, his life's pretty damn good. He just won $4.5 million, I think, yesterday. He's got 2 major championships. I think everything's okay in the Wyndham world. But yeah, it was just a weird one. It was a weird one seeing American fans just have no support for one of their own. And the way that NBC, I thought Mike Tirico handled this very skillfully in the post-round press conference. He said, a lot of the people were rooting for Scotty, and I don't think it was a rooting for Scotty thing, because they gave Tom Kim way more love also than they gave Wyndham Clark. I think it was more of an anti-Wyndham thing than a pro-Scotty.
I think there was a combination of a lot of things, but the saturated element was probably anti-Wyndham.
Yeah.
You can root for drama. Don't create the drama as a fan.
That's a really good way of putting it. Root for the drama, don't create the drama. Mind your manners. We have a promo code for you if you go to mannersgolf.com. It's the best stuff in the game. They keep coming out with new drops. The summer drop's been incredible. I got this vest on. I told you, I've become a vest guy.
Yeah.
I've become a cover the center of mask guy. You go to mannersgolf.com, use the promo code DOG15, you get 15% off your order. So after the last 2 U.S. Opens at Shinnecock were plagued by course controversies, remember we had in 2004, I was 9 years old, but from what I see on the interwebs and what I'm told, it was genuinely crazy. I mean, that Chris DeMarco incident where they're watering between groups, and Chris DeMarco gets on the tee and they're not watering for his group, and he's like, "Where's my fucking water?
Yeah, where's my hose?"
So that was crazy. And then 2018, we had the epic Zach Johnson. They lost the golf course. Where did it go? It got up and went to East Hampton. I mean, the golf course is right there. I thought the USGA got this one exactly right. And I'm a guy who sometimes I shit on golf courses, not literally.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I'll pee behind a tree. I've never shit on a golf course, hand to hand. But sometimes I like to criticize golf courses. I did that a lot at Aronimink. I stand by it. It was not my favorite. I thought the USGA walked the tightrope perfectly this weekend. It was a tough tightrope to walk because of how windy it was. And the wind was inconsistent. It was up sometimes in the afternoon. It was up sometimes in the morning. Look, 3 players finishing under par with a 4-under winning score. I mean, that's the sweet spot for the modern US Open. But it's not just about the numbers or the statistics. You watch golf with your eyes. It's very important to do. And this was a comprehensively better test and a more entertaining show than the PGA Championship at Aronimink. And part of that is due to the setup. I thought the setup at Aronimink, putting the whole, no trees, so the rough is super long. They have to put the pins on the top of Volkswagen Beetles. I thought it led to a bit of a lag putt off. But part of it is what you're working with, the course you're working with. A makeup artist will always prefer to work on a supermodel, right? Their work is going to look better. And now it's only been a month, but I think I said this the day after. I can't remember a single high leverage shot from Aronimink. Can't remember a single hole that really stuck with me. Shinnecock had a half dozen. The par 3 7th. The par 4 9th with just a nightmarish uphill second shot that Alex Bush and I were walking, and I looked at it. You never see an approach shot that is this far uphill. The devilish 11th, another par 3. The wind-dependent par 5 16th. We saw Wyndham Clark make an eagle and Scotty Scheffler get back in the tournament on Saturday. We saw guys hitting driver 3-wood full wedge on Sunday. But the star of the show for me was the par 4 10th. He had options off the tee. It's a ski slope fairway. Sam Burns laid back on Sunday. He had damn near 200 yards in. Wyndham Clark blasted driver at a low cut over the hill, and he had 66 yards in. That green was receptive enough to hold if, and it's big if, you could nip a high spinner that landed in the perfect spot. And we saw that. Clark did that. He made birdie on Sunday. It was first birdie of the day. But if you got your number wrong, it careened off the green entirely. There were just so many high-octane shots, dicey pins, razor edge moments. It was just watch golf with your eyes and then report what your eyes saw. My eyes saw just a phenomenal test. Crowd aside, and that's a separate conversation from the crowd, which wasn't the hugest. That's because they're in the Hamptons and it's like $10,000 a night and it's 3 hours from the city. It's not an easy place to get to. But the golf course itself, Shinnecock, is as good as they come. Your thoughts? I
don't understand why we as golf fans and like some people in the media sometimes can't just be patient with a golf tournament. Like, yeah, it's 4 rounds long for a reason. And
everyone's freaking out on Thursday.
On Thursday, like, oh, it's going to be too easy, or how much harder can they? I think that the fans feel like if they make enough of a swell, that they'll like bully the USGA into doing something.
They won't.
They have a plan. Yeah. It's going to be fine. And when we look back now, Monday morning quarterback, how many guys under par? 4? Winners at
Three.
The winners at 4 under. Like
That's exactly what you would have.
Exactly what we would have asked for. We can Harry Diamond ourselves on this and say, if we would have had this leaderboard today on Monday morning, would we have taken it all fucking day?
Yeah,
all day.
Yeah, I mean, I've said a lot. You know, golf tournaments are long. It's one of the reasons why I don't stay and interview these guys after every round, because you know you don't interview unless you're the sideline reporter where you're contractually obligated to do it for the TV. You don't interview players after the first, second, and third quarter of a game. Let's wait till the end to sort of make our judgment. I think you're right. I think they got it right. So Sam Burns at the U.S. Open is becoming a little bit of a thing.
Yeah.
So last year he had to hit a golf ball out of a puddle down the stretch at Oakmont.
Straight up.
We saw they showed that clip yesterday. I think I maybe didn't appreciate it initially, but it was a puddle. I mean, it was a puddle.
Well, you see him take the second practice swing afterward, and there's still a lot of water there that
sticks right in. The golf ball, mud ball goes all over the place. There were no puddles this week at Shinnecock. Nothing even.
Not even close. Yeah.
And Burns played some inspired golf on Sunday before his greatest weapon went cold on the final 2 holes. So he made the type of mid-range putt that he had evaded him for most of the day at 16. You know, Sam Burns, the conventional wisdom on him is he's an incredible putter, which is true. He drove it. He hit it really, really good on Sunday. I mean, drove it really straight. He gave himself opportunity after opportunity. They weren't going in, but he made one on 16. And then with his veins coursing with adrenaline or dopamine or cortisol, whatever the life maxers, I can't really keep my chemicals straight. He had an inch perfect approach into 17. He had just under 10 feet for birdie, and his birdie putt brought to mind Tom Watson at Turnberry. And that's not a putt in the pantheon of putts. That's not one that you want to be compared to. And his tee shot on 18 was up to the right side. It trickled into the right rough, and he muscled a 9-iron from like 195 yards to 18 feet just below the hole. And then this was an incredible break. Keith Mitchell's approach finished a foot short, which gave him a true Bernie Sanders free education on that putt. And sometimes when you have a Bernie Sanders free education, if a guy leaves it 5 feet short, you don't learn anything. If they gas it past the hole, it can almost be counterproductive because you're like, well, that one didn't break. Well, maybe because, bullets don't break. Keith Mitchell hit a putt that finished about 4 inches short of the hole. So we saw every single break. It was the perfect teach, and it just wasn't to be. His putt just died at the lip, and he crouched down to his knees, and you could tell that's a putt that he's going to be thinking about for a long, long time. Look
at this like anti-Rory stance, like Rory at the Masters.
Yeah, not all crouches on the 18th hole are created equal, and winning the Masters stands alone. It's forever. Champions dinner. Masters is the biggest golf tournament in the world for an American. So winning the U.S. Open means winning on Father's Day, which is a huge deal, and this is why Sam Burns was so emotional after his round. Here's Sam Burns.
Yeah, he just said he was really proud. Sorry.
Take your time.
Just said he was proud, and I think we both knew how special it could have been for Father's Day, but I know he's proud.
You don't have to apologize when you cry in a press conference or something. We're going to talk about the media stuff because I'm getting real cranky. I'm going very Roy Keane these days, but. You don't have to apologize because every writer in that room is so happy that you're crying.
Oh, yeah, thrilled. That's why the guy goes, take your time.
Yeah, you shouldn't say sorry. You should say, you're fucking welcome.
I know you wanted this.
But after starting his career with 16 finishes of T20 or worse, so he didn't have a single finish better than T20 in his first 16 major starts. He's now got 4 top 10s in his last 9, including each of the last 3 U.S. Opens. So I'm not saying he's in the Phil Mickelson territory yet of, runner-up in the U.S. Open, but Sam Burns at the U.S. Open.
He's got something to play for.
It's becoming a little bit of a thing.
Yeah.
Some zany scoring this week. Some weird kind of stuff happened. Keith Mitchell shot 41-29 on the first 18 holes, which is insane. That was the first time it's ever been done. First time anyone's ever had a score over 40 and under 30 in a United States Open. It happened in the same round.
Believe that.
And then per Stats Oracle Justin Ray, he's the first person to shoot 4 straight even par rounds in a U.S. Open. Now, that's a very cool stat in and of itself. But we're U.S. Open guys, you and I, Ben. And we're par 70 guys. We love a par 70. It's cool if it was 72. It's a lot cooler that it's 70.
Way cooler.
It's way cooler. It was like when Sebastian Gross, our first ever dog of the week, went 80-60.
80-60.
A couple weeks later,
Nick Dunlap.
91-71, not nearly as cool. There's something about around numbers. So
on a slot machine, that's the jackpot.
That's the jackpot. What a cool week for Keith Mitchell. Okay. Pour one out. I was going to pour this tea, but it's really hot, and I was going to pour some grape out, but Wyndham wouldn't be happy for me for doing that. But pour one out at home for the over par winner at a major. I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Ever again?
I'm not sure it's going to happen. So with the USGA delaying the golf ball rollback a further 2 years and saying potentially not at all, which I said this earlier in the week. I think it's like when your boy has a toxic girlfriend. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna break up with her. I'm gonna do it. You're like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And then, I'm doing it by Christmas. And then Thanksgiving rolls around. And you say, well, we're going to Italy. Our parents, I don't really want to deal with that. They just keep pushing.
I got a date. It's 2030.
Exactly. By 2030, I'll do it. I'm not sure we'll get one again. I thought we might have gotten one this week. I thought we might have gotten one last time at Oakmont. So from 2006 through 2018, there were 6 over par winners in major championships. 4 in the U.S. Open. Zach Johnson at the 2007 Masters when it was cold and windy and he laid up on every par 5, and Padraig Harrington at the 2008 Open Championship. We haven't had one since. And with Oakmont and Shinnecock now in the rearview mirror and these golfers just continuing to get better and better, and the USGA, I would say, avoiding controversy, not necessarily in a bad way, but they could have an over par winning score if they want easily.
They could go a lot further, but they know what comes after that. And
Correct.
that's player unhappiness and a swarm of their voices coming into the USGA.
Yeah, and I think, people maybe don't remember this, but after 2018 at Shinnecock, there was legitimate tension between the players in the U.S. Open. I remember there was one of those anonymous articles that quoted a lot of players anonymously, which is super brave. But they said, we should boycott. Like they weren't actually ever going to do it, but there was this like legitimate beef between the USGA, and then they hired Jason Gore as sort of like a liaison. I think Scott Langley's in that role now to kind of act between the players and the USGA. There was this narrative that the USGA is all run by amateurs and we're the tour pros. We know how it should be set up. They've moved away from that. There was not. I didn't see anyone bitch about the golf course this week. I saw maybe like a half bitch. I saw Robert McIntyre said some of these pins are crazy, but.
Good.
As far as how U.S. Opens have gone in the past, this was very tame as far as like the player blowback. So we go to Pebble Beach next year, which is probably the easiest, I would say, of the core venues. I think Gary Woodland won last time at like 12 under, something like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot harder when Graham McDowell in 2010, but 2010 is already so long ago. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when 180 mile per hour ball speed was like, damn, that guy's long. These guys have that with 3-wood.
Everyone has that.
Everyone has that now. So yeah, I'm just not sure we're ever going to see the over par winner again.
Maybe, I guess what you're saying is we have to get used to like sub 5 under par.
Single digits under par is like the new over par.
But even like single digits, I feel like when we've had a few tournaments this year, correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody won at 9.
Aaron Rye won at 9.
Right. So that didn't feel as satisfying.
Yeah, between even and 5 under is the new over par winner.
When you have the leaderboard we were looking at, where it's like 5 E's, 3 1s, and then 1 anomaly number, like
that's the new.
That felt like growing up watching the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Except that Tiger Woods was at like 17, and the other guy was at 2.
Yeah, he did shoot 12 under, and everyone else shot 3 over in 2000 at Pebble Beach, which is just a statistic. I don't think anyone's ever won a major by 15 shots ever again. You want to talk about records that won't be broken?
Yeah.
Ever is a long time, but winning a major championship by 15 shots
in our lifetime.
There was a guy. Remember, there was a guy on the DP World Tour who won by something crazy this year. I think he won by like 13 or 14 shots.
That's escaping me.
But it did happen.
It happened.
Because you commented, you were like, this guy was like full Tiger. He was going crazy out there.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I could tell you didn't remember.
Yeah, but I watched it.
You're not very good at faking I remember. Like I wonder,
I need to start just like.
Yeah, like I wonder if someone sees you and like you're trying to make it seem like you recognize them, you'd be like the oh yeah of course guy instead of like the dude. Like you got to sell it a little more.
No. I avoid if it's like a gray area. I'm like I can't do nice to meet you or see you. I'm just gonna like accidentally bump into them. Oh, make somebody else introduce them.
Yeah.
Get a third party.
All that to say, I could tell that you didn't remember, but it's okay. What's that? Yurov Premlal. That's who it was. Andy Yurov
Premlal.
Good pull from Andy there. Okay. The majority of top Americans in recent history have made their first major start in the United States Open. You know, we're Wikipedia guys. We're a lot of things, guys, but we're Wikipedia guys, and
we have a toolbox.
And when you go on Wikipedia, you see all of these guys' major championship finishes, and typically how it goes is there's a random one of a U.S. Open that they qualified for as a junior. Maybe they won the U.S. Junior, maybe they got through qualifying. Then there's like a 3-year gap, and then they start playing all 4 for the rest of their career. So Jordan Spieth made his major debut at the 2012 U.S. Open. Brooks Koepka the same year, 2012 U.S. Open. Justin Thomas, 2014 U.S. Open. Scotty Scheffler, 2016 U.S. Open. Xander Schauffele, 2017 U.S. Open. Colin Morikawa, 2019 U.S. Open. Now, I'm not going to put that pressure on Miles Russell. I'm actively not going to say what you think I'm going to say. that he might be. I'm not even going to say it, but I'm thinking it. So not to toot my own horn here, I would never do that. It's arrogant. But I did say that I thought Russell would make the cut this week, and I said as much on the show. And my reasoning was, you got to hit it straight. Got to hit it straight at a U.S. Open like this with how firm it is. Distance is not going to be the be-all, tell-all. You got to hit it straight. And it's different from, I thought his chances of making the cut this week would be much, much better than making the chance of making a run like if he was playing, at the Travelers, where it's going to be a birdie fest and you got to shoot 67 every day just to keep pace. And while many juniors come up these days and they seem to hit it 9 miles and then kind of figure the rest out from there, Russell approaches the game differently. He was straight before he was long, and he's still not that long. He's 17 years old. He has plenty of growing up to do. He also has plenty of growing to do. He looks like he's got some filling out to do. But he cruised to the weekend in a very, very impressive major championship debut. So he shot 70 on Sunday. After the round, he said it was a pretty special week. Just to be here was really special. And to make the cut was kind of bonus points. I didn't quite have my best stuff the last 2 days, but still really cool. Just a great experience. Now, because Russell's been in the top junior in the country for so long, since he's been in the collective consciousness of the golf world for so long, he was the first player since Tiger to repeat as AJGA Player of the Year. He still has another year of junior golf, and it's hard to believe he's still just 17. And I have to, this thought went through my head. This is parting thoughts, so these are my thoughts. With the immediate success that we've seen from Blades Brown, who will almost certainly be playing full-time on the PGA Tour before his 20th birthday, it's hard to imagine he's not at least considering going that route. And I'm not saying, the college game is so advanced now, it's basically a mini tour. The vast majority of juniors are much better off going to college. But when you're a truly special one, you got to be thinking about it. And Florida State will definitely have a really big NIL package waiting for him. Mm-hmm. But I just wonder if after playing in this event, you think he finished tied for 39th, which is a really solid finish. It would have made like 100-something grand. It's just something to keep track of.
I think he's still got a whole year conversation with his buddy Jackson Coyven and say, talk me through your decision.
Yeah, Jackson was a great junior, but he wasn't. I mean, Miles Russell was the number 7 amateur in the world, and that was before this week. I think he's probably going to move up a spot or two.
But even having a chance after, was it his freshman year to sort of move on, and he stuck around through his junior year, like, that could be the guy that says, like, hey, man, college is sick.
100%.
Don't miss out on a couple
Jackson
of
and Auburn is sick, and Jackson did, he initially, we had him saying many times, I'm going to stay all 4 years. He almost went after his sophomore year. I mean, I would be shocked if Miles stays all 4 years, and then I don't
expect all 4 years.
I would not be surprised if he's going to continue to get more invites, and he's going to continue to get into more events, and if he continues to have success, and if you're going to turn professional, and if you feel like you're ready, there's a lot of money out there in pro golf right now.
One thing that I'm thinking about that I'm sure he's not thinking about is how his decision making relates to what goes on with him and Charlie Woods at school. Like, is he the kind of guy that wants to like?
I don't know how close him and Charlie are.
Well, they're gonna get close.
We're speculating on 17-year-olds' relationships.
Well, they looked like they were boys hanging out there.
He did caddy for him.
I think there's a spotlight situation that could take place, and there's also I don't want to be just like Charlie Wood's teammate type of thing.
I mean, Miles Russell already has like 150,000 followers on Instagram.
I know he's not just some guy.
He's not just some guy, but you're right. I mean, there is potential, and Florida State did not have that good of a year this year. Tyler Weir, who's their best player, who we had in our Scratch University video, he's the number 3 amateur in the world. He got sick. Didn't play in NCAAs. They didn't make it to match play. They weren't close to making it to match play. The two of them could shine a light on college golf it's already been shining. It could be seriously amplified.
Yeah.
If you have Miles Russell and Charlie Woods on the same college golf team, that will bring more eyes to college golf than probably ever before. So it's worth keeping track of. So Miles Russell also, he tapped in his dad to carry the bag for him walking up on 18 on Father's Day. Now, that is an objectively lovely gesture. It's also one of those moves that kind of makes everyone else look like a little bit of a dick, Like, damn, like none of you other tour pros could give your dad that memory when all you have to do is putt out on a hole that you've already played 3 times in competition. It's sort of like when your buddy, you're at the boys' golf trip and everyone's drinking and boozing in their second 18, and he steps off into the woods to FaceTime his wife and kids. You're like, I mean, it's a nice thing to do, but
now we all got to do it.
Did you really have to expose us? Or it's like when someone gives the newlyweds, at a wedding, gives them a super thoughtful, personalized gift when you bought them a toaster off their registry. It's like, that's a nice thing to do, but because it was such a nice gesture. I'm immediately thinking, like, so every single golfer is basically, not every single one, not every single father is out there of the player, but if a father's out there, it's such a nice thing to do. Maybe that becomes a little bit of a tradition, because I feel like Miles Russell now, and it's funny that it's a 17-year-old kid who had the forethought, and he had the forethought because he asked the USGA before. He was like, I think this would be really cool. I'm just saying, no one else had that idea.
He mogged about at least 30 guys.
He sun-mogged the rest of the field. The rest of the field got sun-mogged. Miles Russell is statistically, strokes gained being a son, he's way ahead of everybody else.
World's best son.
World's best son. So I'm getting a little cranky, as we've talked about in my 30s. I'm going full Roy Keane. We've talked about Roy Keane. It's his job. So I'm probably the issue here. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. But the constant fawning over press conferences when a player says something even a little bit insightful, or a professional golfer has the audacity to practice golf, it's driving me up a wall. So last major, it was Rory hitting balls after Thursday at Aronimink. That's his job. He's a professional golfer. It's the middle of a major championship. This week it was Harry Higgs talking about confidence after 2 rounds to start the tournament, 2 good rounds. This is the furthest thing away from a criticism of Harry Higgs. He's a smart guy. He's very funny, and he's good at press conferences. But it was like I saw 30 tweets. This is the best press conference I've ever seen. If you watch anything, watch this. So let's watch it.
Do more of what I did today. Make the choice to be, is simply just like confident and believe in yourself, no matter what happens. I need to do that in every aspect or every golf tournament. I don't know why it came. Maybe this is just so hard that I could shrug off all the bad things that happened to me a little easier. For the first time in a while, I truly thought that, like, yeah, I can do this. This is Friday. Who knows? I'm sure it's going to be harder tomorrow, and I'm sure it's going to be even harder Sunday. But I haven't had that feeling in a while. I would love to recreate it over the next 2 days. And if I don't, I'm just going to try my damnedest.
He even was like, can we relax? This is only Friday. He finished tied for 43rd. And again, this is the furthest thing away from a criticism of Harry Higgs, but like that's what we're freaking out over. That's what we're like. This is the Oscar. This was like the I Have a Dream speech of the modern day. Like on a Friday. Am I just too cynical here?
A little bit, but not entirely. I mean, the real thing that's going on is that guys don't open up ever. So that when somebody does, especially someone that we don't hear from that often, that shouldn't be where he is on Friday, on Friday,
halfway through
on that leaderboard, it piques interest. Like Scotty Scheffler, I saw him do a post round on Saturday interview and asking him questions about his round, and every one of his answers could have been told to you on Tourcast.
AI.
Oh yeah, he could drive into the middle and then hit a good iron, and luckily the putt went in. That's what we get more often than not. So I think when someone stepped up to the podium and like you can see them look inside themselves for a half a second, like when Scotty got all existential.
I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's not like, you can write a story.
No, I'm saying we're starved for it. That's why the reaction is like that. It's because like we get that robotic talk so often that when like somebody steps up there and speaks from the heart, yeah, it's laid on thick.
I've been too close to it, where you're in a press conference and someone says something insightful and everyone's like, oh, that was so good, and then they all go back and they all tweet the same video and they write the same stories. Okay, so I'll take your words that it's not black or white, but what about this one? This was one of my favorite people in golf media, Luke Curdanine. He wrote an article about Viktor Hovland practicing golf, the audacity to practice golf. The lead, Southampton, New York. Viktor Hovland is on the range right now. Wow. My colleague Jamie Kennedy turned to me and said that, looking mildly confused and pleasantly surprised. The U.S. Open range tracker was on his computer string in the media center, and it was lit up with the rows of pink. Each row represents one shot, and Hovland's was stacked like a pile of pancakes. Do you mean to tell me that a professional golfer who missed the cut, who's been struggling, who has a tournament that starts on Monday, just a few hours away, was practicing golf on the weekend? Would you expect him to go to the beach? I mean, it's his job. It's his job. And I saw this too with every golf media outlet tweeting a video of Scotty Scheffler putting after his round on Saturday. Yeah, he missed a short putt on 18. It's his job. I get it. Everyone's trying to go viral. Everyone's trying to find this little angle. And I'm probably the issue here. But I just,
balls and strikes.
Professional golfers practice golf. I don't know if maybe that's front page news. Maybe I've lost my touch. Maybe I've lost my feel for what is notable.
No, I don't think it's
okay.
Like
so your stance is the Harry Higgs thing. I'm a little bit cranky. That one, like,
I'll give you that one.
Not even that one. Just I don't want to pick on Luke. I love Luke. He's gonna be on the show. I'll text him this after. Be like, can't believe you did that.
It's a well written lead.
Oh, for sure.
As an editor, love that.
But the fawning over Scotty.
You would think what followed was like his death story or something like that. Like
he practiced golf.
Got hit by a train later.
He's
that day.
playing like shit. They've got this incredible practice facility, and let me tell you how this also works. Victor Hovland probably spent $30,000 on a house for the week. He didn't spend on that money on the house through Friday night, so he's probably staying in the Hamptons.
Meter's still running on that Hamptons.
What's also probably happening? There's probably a little charter that's going from the Hamptons to Hartford for the tour event that he was going to catch. Did you expect him?
Easier than that. It's a ferry.
Did you expect him to go to Surf Lodge and black out on Saturday? Like
a little bit.
What did you expect? Yes, they're practicing golf. Golfers practicing golf. I can't believe it.
If you went to the Surf Lodge and blacked out, that's a story.
Yeah, exactly. That's a story.
That's what you want.
That's a story. Okay.
A little more partying, Vic. A little less practice.
I feel a little bad that I don't feel. I feel like I got something off my chest.
You threw a strike.
Okay, let's go somewhere. Let's go a different angle. Our dogs of the week, and it's multiple dogs of the week, are the 5 amateurs, 5 who made the cut this week at Shinnecock. That is highly impressive. So let's give each of them some love. Ryder Cowan just finished his junior year at Oklahoma. He qualified into the field. He's number 15 in the world amateur rankings. He was up by the lead early in the tournament after an opening 68. He hung around with rounds of 72, 72, 73. He made a really gutsy birdie on 17, then parred 18 to share the low amateur honors with Jackson Koiven. Koiven was playing his last event as an amateur. He got into the field by winning the McCormack Medal as the world's top amateur at the end of last year. He had to stay amateur in order to keep that exemption. One of the best college players in recent memory. He won 11 times at Auburn in 3 years, including 3 SEC individual titles, and he helped the Tigers to win 2 NCAA team championships. He closed with 68 after playing both weekend rounds with world number 1 junior Miles Russell, who's already a known commodity in world golf. He closed, as we talked about, with 70 to finish a highly respectable tie for 39th. There was Merrick Fleming, a 20-year-old rising junior at South Carolina. He finished tied for 56 at plus 10 alongside a guy named Jordan Spieth. So Jordan Spieth, I feel like I didn't barely played this week. Again, I've been personally affronted. A bit further down the board was Eric Lee, who's already won a team national championship at Oklahoma State. They've got a hell of a crop of seniors coming back for their last year. They've got Eric Lee. They've got Ethan Fang, who was also in the field but did not make the cut. And they've got Preston Stout, who was also in the field but did not make the cut. So the amateur, and really when we say that, we mean the junior and the collegiate games, haven't been stronger since the era when the best players in the world literally never turned pro and stayed amateur. So I was going to say it's never been this strong, but then there was a guy named Bobby Jones, who was the best player in the world, who never turned pro. So the amateur game, we'll say, is as strong as it's been since. You ever read the book The Match?
I have it, but I haven't opened it up.
Oh, it's one of the best.
It's on my list.
But they say that was the day that the power shifted in golf from the amateurs to the professionals. It was kind of in the early 1950s with Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson. So we'll say the amateur game is in the strongest spot it's been as far as quality since the early 1950s.
It's not just their game either. Like, all these kids are coming up in a generation
swagger
where they have swagger. They're used to like talking on camera because they all had Snapchat growing up. Like, I think the press conferences of future might be.
Do you have Snapchat on your phone?
Very interesting. No.
I feel like that's a real marker of a generation. You know, I'm they say that Gen Z starts in January of 1995. So I'm technically still a millennial because I'm December 94.
Hey, welcome.
Which is sick.
Let's go.
Shout out to my millennials out there. Drop a like and subscribe if you're a millennial.
Yeah, if you're a millennial, hit us.
The analytics say mostly millennials, so we should get some likes and some subscriptions from that. I feel like Snapchat is kind of the marker.
Yeah.
Like, I was never Snapchat guy, and it is still, like, I saw they were doing a video, one of those introductory Corn Ferry videos with Tommy Morrison, and they were like, what's your most used app? And he said Snapchat. I was like, what the hell? It's still a huge thing.
Well, college kids are skewing the statistics there because they're sending each other a lot of nude pics.
Are they? Yeah. Is that
that's my analysis.
I feel like that's what it was kind of created for, was the nudes.
Yeah, like the college debauchery, it like thrives in Snapchat, and that's why I don't have it anymore. I'm not in college, and I delete it.
So did you have it in college?
I probably not in college.
No.
I don't think it was out yet.
You're like middle of the millennial.
Yeah, like Facebook came out when I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, Uber came out when I was a senior in high school. I remember that.
I'm a bona fide millennial.
You are a bona fide millennial. We're also here at Dan and Golf. We're the Plaque guys.
Yeah, we are.
We're the bona fide plaque guys, and it's a mantle that
Law and
we
Order
shoulder.
Special Plaque Investigators Unit.
It's a mantle that we shoulder with pride. So we weren't huge fans of the plaque recently unveiled at TPC Toronto for Ryan Fox's shot on the 4th playoff hole that led to his victory in 2025. It was a very good golf shot, don't get me wrong. It was also the 5th time they'd play that hole that day. They played in regulation, and then they just kept playing 18 over and over until he beat Sam Burns. He also didn't make eagle. So plaque-worthy moments, I'm going to say it again, it's like the Supreme Court's definition of pornography. You know it when you see it. It's got to be reserved for truly iconic moments. So before that plaque situation, we also took issue with the ridiculous plaque that Bryson DeChambeau got at Chapultepec for a solid shot on the drivable par 4 first hole, which he did not eagle in a golf tournament that he did not win. So a listener reached out with just an incredible update on that plaque. He said, I was listening to your U.S. Open preview show, found it super funny as I was having a discussion with my golf pals on the plaque epidemic we are now living in. That's a really nice way of putting it. As a member of the Club de Golf Chapultepec in Mexico City, where they played LIV these past 2 years, and they presented a plaque to Bryson DeChambeau for a shot that was, in all honesty, not plaque material. It was a shot on the first day of competition, and I've seen at least 2 members do the same shot. Anyways, after some internal claims, I can confirm that Bryson's plaque was removed. Now, another listener reached out to point out another plaque, which I was unaware of. This one commemorating Tom Watson's chip-in on 17 at Pebble Beach en route to winning the United States Open. Now, you might think, here we go. Dan's about to shit on another plaque. Wrong. We're balls and strikes, guys. That's absolutely worth it. That's a
good plaque.
That's a great plaque. That's a great plaque. Everyone knows that chip-in from Tom Watson. I think he said, get it close. Hell, I'm going to make it.
The quote adds plaque sauce.
Plaque sauce. That's plaque worthy. And so, by the way, is Bryson's bunker shot on 18 at Pinehurst. We're balls and strikes, guys. Just ask us. When there is a plaque worthy moment, we're the first ones to give a plaque. You know, we have a little room on the show right here. I want to put a plaque there, but we have to wait for the right moment.
We need to achieve true greatness, and we'll be the judge.
Maybe if you guys all like and subscribe to this video, we'll put a plaque.
Give us our all.
Nope, we won't, because that's not worth it.
That's right.
We need a plaque that is a plaque-worthy moment in order to instill a plaque. So my message to all of you is I fucking love it. Keep sending us plaques. Yes. We're the plaque guys, and we're totally fine. In fact, we embrace the label of being a plaque guy.
If you come across an unplaque-worthy plaque out there in the golf world,
send it our way.
Send it to us.
If you come across any plaque, send it to us.
Yeah, we'll analyze it.
Yeah, we'll analyze it. That's exactly right. We're not just here to shit on.
We'll get it into the lab.
We're not just here to shit on things. We're here to celebrate plaques that deserve to be plaques. So I want anyone to send us a DM to the Dan on Golf account. And if you see a plaque anywhere, I'd extend it to signs, like commemorative signs.
Sure.
Like there's one at San Francisco Golf Club where there's a par 3, I think it is, and off to the side there was a duel between senators in like the 1860s. That's worthy of a plaque. When I went to Ireland on my buddy's trip at Waterville, I think it was, there was something called the Mass Hole, which is not a rude guy from Massachusetts. It's when the English were not letting the Catholic Irish have mass because of the rules, the laws. There was a little sunken spot, and they would have mass in that little hole. That is totally worth it.
No plaque there, though. They didn't put.
No, they put a plaque there.
Oh, it said this was the mass.
This is the mass hole, and then explain the story, and it was a great moment.
Click it.
Keep sending to the Dan on Golf Instagram account. Keep sending us plaques. We'll analyze them.
We're the Chris Hansen. We're gonna walk through that door and say, "You want to explain yourself, plaque layer?"
Can you imagine? There's a new plaque on a golf course. It opens up. We come from.
We get like a hidden camera coming into the.
Come out of the woods and we go. What are you doing here, huh?
Bust into the shed.
Well, what's your plan with that milk?
You guys want to explain this plaque?
Yeah. Why are you messaging a 13-year-old girl that you're excited to cuddle? That's going to be us with the plaques.
That was us.
That was us. Okay. Hand up. We're accountability guys.
Yeah.
I forgot Xander Schauffele twice. Forgot him twice. So when I released my top 25 players list for the U.S. Open, plenty of you rightfully pointed out that I didn't include Xander Schauffele. That's weird, because I've made a huge deal of him finishing in the top 18, going into this with 16 of the last 17 major championships. And it's doubly weird because I made you all a promise on the Monday show after Aronimink. Here's what I had to say. Xander Schauffele finished tied for 7th. That's his 16th finish of T18 or better in his last 17 majors, and he finished 60th at the Truist Championship in a field of 72 the week before. And I was like, oh, I'm so curious. How is Xander going to play? You know, he's playing so. It's a fucking major championship. It's the best bet in sports, and I'm making a promise to you guys. I'm saying this out loud because I want to feel accountable to the audience. The next major championship at Shinnecock Hills, U.S. Open, I will be making my largest trade ever on Polymarket on Xander Schauffele to finish inside the top 20. I don't care if it's 80% yes. It's free money. It's time to put my money where my mouth is. I didn't put my money where my mouth is, and it would have cashed. He finished tied for 11th. I just forgot, man. I forgot. The good news is we still have a major championship left this year. Only one. I woke up this morning a little bit sad. Yeah. Only one men's major left for the year. But I doubly promise to make that trade and to include him in my top 25 next year.
You got that one. That's lock him in for Birkdale.
You know, it's like it's as sure as we're fucking standing here. I don't care if he finishes dead last this week. I don't care if he puts his right hand in a blender 10 minutes before his tee time.
No ravioli.
Yeah, no Scotty ravioli.
Safely.
He is finishing in the top 15, top 20. It's the surest bet in sports.
I'll match your donation.
I'm not going to say that. Will you?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the Bills thing. I said it too many times. So I watched the broadcast mostly on mute because we're streaming a lot on the weekend, but I can say I really like Jim Furyk in the booth.
Yeah.
I think he's really good. And, you know, this is the part of the show where I'm supposed to say, why is Jim Furyk good in the booth? It's kind of hard to describe why someone's good or not good in the booth.
Yeah, you either have charisma or you don't.
It's like you just kind of have to watch.
Yeah.
Like I can say, oh, he says this. It's just like the announcers give you a feeling. And I think Jim Furyk does a really good one. Now, it's not going to be a full-time gig, given he is the Ryder Cup captain for 2027 at Adair Manor. But after that, I would have no issue if he was. Now, say something nice about the broadcast. Say something not as nice about the broadcast. What is up with bringing on all of Wyndham Clark's team during the golf? There's plenty of time. So they had Julie, his mental coach, and they had Pat, his swing coach. This was during.
While he was playing?
All the leaders were playing.
Wow.
There's plenty of time and plenty of space in the golf ecosystem. It's kind of what we do on the show, to talk to these type of people and tell those kind of stories. But when you've paid all that money to be able to show the golf shots, show the damn golf shots. And I think one of the reasons is that they do this is there's probably some executives who are saying, you know what we need to do? We need to tell these guys stories better. I think you just on a Sunday of a U.S. Open kind of need to show the golf shots.
Or somebody sending a text, we should get that guy on the show.
Yeah.
On air.
Yeah, have him on, the Smiley Show and put it on the NBC or the Dan Golf Show and put it on the social channels. But during the golf, just show the damn golf shots. I also thought it was ironic. Nicole Ray, our social head of social, she was out there and she asked Julie about the abuse that Wyndham was taking. And Julie said, I had to go inside. It was so bad. I'm thinking to myself, so the mental coach...
Oh, man.
What kind of message that's sending to Wyndham?
I mean, that's like going up to the general and being like, you're losing the war. What's going on? He's like, I have lunch.
Exactly. He's like, I got to smoke a very fiend cigarette in my tent. You guys go do the fighting out there. So, yeah, just show the golf shots. All right, Rory McIlroy, who finished tied for 32nd, which in his own standards would be
shit.
But you know what Rory McIlroy does similar to me?
Support Manchester United.
So he finished tied for 32nd, and now he will skip his third signature event of the year. So that coupled, he's not playing in the Travelers. That coupled with the dagger he threw at the PGA Tour ahead of its schedule announcement tomorrow, which we're going to be breaking down on Wednesday's show, highlighted just how far he's deviated from when he was the Prince of Ponte Vedra, when he was the face of the PGA Tour. So it's understandable, obviously. Rory put his reputation on the line, and he spoke time and time again and put so much effort into being the face, the main supporter of the PGA Tour in the face of an existential threat. And then the tour made a deal with that existential threat, and he wasn't even in the damn room. So that was equal parts, I feel like, humiliating, but also illuminating for Rory. He learned the hard way that he's a golfer. He's a damn good one. He's a very good golfer, but he's a golfer, and that's where he should pour his energy. It's not going too bad. He's added 2 majors in the past 2 years after not winning one for 11 years, and he's adjusting his schedule to fit what he wants to do at this stage of his career, not what the PGA Tour wants. He just finished that house in London. I thought it was very notable that after he finished at the Memorial, they asked him what his plans are. He's like, I'm going to go back to London for a few days before I go to the U.S. Open. It wasn't, I'm going to go back to Florida. So I think he's going to start spending a lot more time in that London house. He's also playing a lot more around the world in the fall. He's probably going back to India, back to Australia, and less in the heat of the summer of the PGA Tour. And it's also why he's willing to say things like this about the tour's new two-tier structure. He said, an event like last week, the Canadian Open, is potentially going to one of these Track 2s. Track 2 is a glorified Corn Ferry event. That's not what the PGA Tour wants you to say.
No.
That's what Track 2 is going to be, so I don't think the Canadian Open should be one of those. He also said that that the PGA Tour before LIV was not so bad. Like, and structurally, I think that's true. But I don't know. I feel like they're just making way more money. So, you know, like, I understand what he's saying, that sometimes time is a flat circle and you look for solutions, and you end up right back where you started. Maybe they're doing that, but with and this is extended to the majors themselves. So when the U.S. Open was at Shinnecock in 2018, the purse was $12 million. 8 years later, it was over $22 million this year. It's almost doubled, and that's a direct result of the majors feeling like we have to give out more money than these signature events. So Rory, he's not holding back anymore.
I would say I understand if I'm in Rory's shoes, looking back on the past 5 years, being like, wow, I got a lot of diminishing returns from being political, essentially.
Totally.
So cutting his losses there, I think, is a wise move. And he's obviously...
it's not a criticism of Rory. It was a moment when I saw what he said about the Track 2, and then when I saw him not enter the Travelers, where you're like, damn, Rory's really just doing Rory.
He's kind of, the environment and himself have given himself a fresh start on like his persona, I feel like. After the Grand Slam, after winning back-to-back Masters.
What's important to me?
The PGA Tour leadership changes. It's kind of like, okay, that environment that I was in and my role in it doesn't exist at all anymore. In fact, the threat's not a threat anymore.
Right.
So why don't I just focus on golf? And I think that's a wise decision.
And he seems to be in great spirits.
Yeah. And go back to London whenever you want.
Yeah.
London. Handle that transatlantic flight.
Well, I mean, who wants to be in Florida in the summer?
I guess if I got a lay flat seat across the ocean.
How about if you had your own private jet?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have a lay flat jet.
By lay flat, you mean probably a king size bed in the jet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be just fine with probably a really good start.
Yeah, I'll just take the lay flat seat.
Yeah. So every once in a while, a player will adopt a weird putting style, and they'll look so fucking automatic doing it that you're thinking, has this guy just like figured it out? Like, is there a solve? I was not a math guy growing up. I was good at other subjects, but I was never the best at math. And there would always be these like proofs, and I fucking hated them. And sometimes they're still in my dreams because I can never quite get to the answer. My dreams have been wild.
Oh, and you had to prove your answer, like how you got there?
Yeah, there's like a proof. That was like a thing in math. It was like, prove that this is true or something.
That you did the work to get to
you
the
like
answer.
show your work and like see how you got there. I was never good at it. But I was thinking, is there a proof for putting? So I remember feeling this way when Bryson went with those sort of like robot pendulum stance where he's standing up super straight and his arms are super straight. And he's basically turning himself into a pendulum. And I had the same feeling watching Wyndham Clark hoop 8-footer after 8-footer on Saturday at Winged Foot with that counterbalance left-hand low, zero torque putter where he seems to, it's a really interesting setup. He's got his, I'm going to stand up here. He's got his left arm kind of straight like this. If we can get the camera back on me, that'd be awesome. Yeah. He's got his, because I was standing in a really weird position. So I was doing it for the camera. So he's got his left arm like this, and then his right arm is like out like that.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just drags his left hand toward the hole.
It's like a truss, like almost like he's creating
it's a very strange one. He's got that ping zero torque putter, which I'm sure they're thrilled about that. I bet you there's a lot of people who are going to be trying that putter. Now, also, I have to put my hand up. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. We talked about on this show how the blade is dying and how mallets are all the rage now. I'm back in a blade. Time is a flat circle. I'm like Rory with the PGA Tour schedule. You know, as I look for all these solutions, I'm starting to think, when I putted as a kid with a little blade putter and I thought I was Tiger Woods.
High school was great.
High school was awesome. I'm back in a blade putter. It's a big development for me. I feel like I've really spun the wheels on all the different mallets, on the zero torque ones, and with the zero torques, I kept feeling like I was pulling every putt, especially the short ones. And I feel like, okay, if I putt this the way that I'm going to putt this, it's going to miss left. Then I'm like kind of trying to push it, and then when you're doing that, you're in a bad spot.
If your theory is correct, you will come back around eventually.
Oh yeah, I'll be.
And maybe that's actually the unlock, is that trying to stick with the same thing forever is bad golf strategy. And that like you should go with the waves of the universe, and when your body is telling you arm lock, and when your body's telling you claw.
I mean, if there's one part of the game that lends itself to tweaking, it is putting, right? And golf swing is, you think about how fast you're moving. The putting is a lot of it's setup, a lot of it's confidence. So I'm back in the blade putter, and I'm very excited. I'm playing tomorrow, so I'm very excited for that.
Let's go.
Now, this might be an unpopular opinion here, but I kind of agree with Pete Cowan's take on the Joaquin Niemann penalty situation. So you probably know it by now, the situation. Niemann was having a no good, very bad time on the 6th hole of his first round, and he had 2 balls out of bounds, and that much we know is fact. The rest comes via Gabby Herzig of The Athletic, who spoke to a volunteer who witnessed the tail. Now, had this happened at the Masters or the Players' Championship, there'd be no mystery because there's cameras everywhere, and we would have seen it, but c'est la vie. But per Herzig, Niemann unsuccessfully asked for relief from a fire ants situation. He then proceeded to kick the little flags, those little flags?
The white ones.
The white ones. Kicked one of those that marks where the ball finished. He then chucked an iron 50 yards and didn't bother retrieving it until a police officer fetched it for him. He was handed a 2-shot penalty for misconduct. Here's what Joaquin Niemann had to say.
Yeah, I mean, got pretty frustrated, and I'm not someone that, like to be on that behavior. I'm the first one to judge myself when I don't behave on the golf course. And yeah, I mean, that was a misbehave from my part. I felt like got a little bit extra penalized with 2-shot penalty, but I think it is what it is, and I think I'm gonna learn from it. And it definitely kind of helped me a little bit to kind of have a better round today.
So Pete Cowan, who granted coaches Joaquin Niemann, so probably isn't totally impartial, he said the following about the ordeal. It's arbitrary because they picked him out of a load of people who threw clubs yesterday and give him a 2-shot penalty. It depends on whether you like him or you don't like him. It's 2 shots if you don't like him, or it's not 2 shots because he's a decent guy or he hasn't thrown it as far or whatever. So you can't do that. It's got to be 2 shots for throwing a club or for everybody or not. I couldn't agree more. I think it should be 2 shots for everybody. So a video surfaced showing Jon Rahm kind of kicking his club down the fairway multiple times. He did not receive a penalty. We've seen Rory kind of go crazy at majors, not receive a penalty. Rules have to be black or white, or they're not really rules. So if a player throws a club or kicks a club or does anything other than play golf with the club, or you can drop it, like that's different. We all know what drop is a throw. That should be a 2-shot penalty. I think it would be, our game would be better because guys would stop throwing clubs. Holding your feelings in is part of the magic of being a golfer. It's part of what makes this sport so great. Now, cursing is one thing. It's not great, for sure. But throwing a club is a whole other level of petulance. I love that golf differentiates itself from other sports in that there's an expectation of equanimity. You got to act the part out there. We expect players to police themselves. That's part of the ethos. I really do. I think that the game would be a better place where if you throw a club, that's a 2-shot penalty. I don't see why that would not be kind of widely accepted. If you make that very clear to everybody, sort of like the covering your mouth deal in the World Cup, and the guy does it and he gets a red card and everyone freaks out about it. It was a rule. We said it was a rule. I think there should be, you throw a club in anger. That's what it says. If you throw a club in anger, throw being the operative word here, that's a 2-shot penalty. What do you think?
I think that's easy to police.
Yeah.
There's not so much of a gray area.
No.
Like you can tell if somebody's angry, you can see where the shot went. Guy hits it down the middle.
Yeah, well,
he can maybe argue like, I wasn't angry. You look where my ball went.
Saw at the Gala that club came out of his hands because he's in the heather. That's obviously not a
perfect example of not throwing it.
Or if you hit a bad shot and you kind of do the one-arm finish and it comes out, like that's one thing. But turning around and throwing your club or hitting something, like Sergio Garcia, he did this at the Masters where he went after a tee marker. They didn't penalize him though, right? They came out and they talked to, or did they penalize him?
They warned him.
Can you look it up?
I think they warned him.
I think they warned him, but someone came out there and talked to him and they didn't penalize him, and then Niemann gets penalized. And I understand that it wasn't just one thing. He might have been acting a fool out there, but I actually agree on this. I agree too. I think if Scotty did that, I think if Victor Hovland did that, did he get penalized?
He received the first ever code of conduct warning issued at National.
Warning. So it wasn't a penalty.
Was not a penalty.
Okay. So this is a new conduct policy they have at the majors. I think they should be strict with it. I think if you throw a club,
I agree.
And it doesn't matter if your name is Joaquin Niemann or Bryson DeChambeau or Jon Rahm or Rory McIlroy or Scotty Scheffler. If you throw a club, I think it should be a 2-shot penalty.
I have one additional thing about this story to bring up, and it's how Niemann's caddy reacted when our friend Gabby Herzig reported on this and did her job. And something similar happened to us recently when we were out there, and we won't get into details, but like
we will eventually.
People need to stop treating things that they don't like it's a lie or it's not the truth or that it's not just somebody doing their job.
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I could bring it up verbatim, but like he essentially called her a clown for. She was the only one out there. She saw what happened. She didn't see what happened. She went and spoke to a volunteer. This is called reporting, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't see everything.
Went out and spoke to a volunteer who saw it
and said, put his name on it. It wasn't anonymous.
Corroborated it with other people, so she had multiple sources witness this thing, eyewitness testimony, and she reported what happened, which is exactly what happened. Now Niemann gets up on the stand on the press conference stand afterward and
getting cross-examined,
apologizes for it, says he's wrong, says everything that went down. Why is Gabby Herzig a clown for getting it out there ahead of time?
She's not a clown.
She's not.
I'll answer that question.
People that you don't have to understand the news business or the media to have a little bit of respect for our effort to tell the truth and to do the right thing. Give us the benefit of the doubt. We love golf. We're not here to like ruin anybody's lives.
If he didn't do that, there would be no story. You know, he
exactly
himself.
He threw the golf club, and everybody was talking about it, and she did a great job getting out there and telling a story that everybody was wondering about.
And there were questions about because I'm bringing this back to my first point, because it was so shocking to see a 2-shot penalty because you never see it.
Correct.
There were questions about what actually happened here.
Correct.
And she enlightened everyone as to what actually happened.
It's her job as a journalist to enlighten people to what is happening.
It's like golfers practicing golf.
Yeah,
it's their job.
Out there, like, we just got to stand true out there. And when people come at us with like that kind of like, oh, that's fake news type of accusation, like, to all our colleagues out there, like, do what Gabby did. Stand up for the right thing.
Fight the good fight.
Fight the good fight.
So Niemann, speaking of
off my soapbox.
Yeah, nice work. Good job. I like your soapbox. Niemann proceeded to play his other 71 holes at the turn. So he made a septuple bogey. It was a 9 on a par 4 that became an 11. He played his other 71 holes in 6 under par.
Unreal.
For a tie for 7th finish. It's his second career top 10 in a major. This is why we keep talking about this guy at the majors, because he's clearly a world-class talent. You don't win 8 LIV events. I know LIV events. You don't win 8 of them in 4 years without being a serious player. And he's shown in majors that his good is absolutely good enough. He was the only player in the field with multiple rounds of 67 or better, and he shot a 66 and a 65. Now, eventually, he's going to avoid shooting himself in the foot one of these years and make a serious challenge and perhaps win one of these major championships. So when he was asked, however, if he had thought about the fact that if he had made a par or even a bogey on that hole, he'd have won the tournament outright. A double bogey, he would have been in the playoff. He gave an all-time one-liner. If my grandma had tires, she'd be a car. Get that off the screen. That guy's crazy. I don't want to put his tweet up there. If my grandmother had tires, she'd be a car. That is
so safe too. There's so many analogies you can make there. He goes with the car analogy.
Yeah.
Well done, Joaquin.
Because we've all heard versions of that are not PC.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? If my aunt, you don't say that anymore. But you can say if my grandma had tires, she'd be a car. Well, I think she'd be a grandma on wheels, but maybe she would be a car. Yeah, incredible comeback for Joaquin Niemann.
That's good.
He gets his second top 10. All right, some more from the LIV department. A shocking MC hammer from Jon Rahm after an opening 68. And then another dud in the majors from Bryson DeChambeau.
Long live golf.
He's now missed the cut in the first 3 majors of the year and 4 of the last 5. Now, it's a curious development because before this barren streak, he was extremely consistent, a constant presence on the first page of leaderboards on major Sundays. He'd finished tied for 6th or better in 5 of 6 majors before this current streak started last year at Oakmont, including a win at Pinehurst and 2 second-place finishes. Now, Bryson's definitely got a lot on his mind. He doesn't know where he's going to be playing golf in a few months, let alone in a few years. And he's on the 2022 Rory McIlroy diet, where he's serving as, the kind of the spokesman of his league, and he's in all these meetings trying to raise money. He's doing a lot more than just playing golf. Now, whatever the cause of this stretch, it's an unmitigated disaster. And this is not just picking on Bryson. Anytime a player of that caliber has a stretch like this in the majors, it's time to sound the alarm bells, no matter what tour they play on or how many YouTube subscribers they have. So I looked through, I did a little research. He's the only player in the top 25 of data golf with 4 missed cuts in the last 5 major championships, and the only others with 3 of the last 5 missed are JJ Spawn, Adam Scott, and Siwoo Kim. He's on a different level from those guys. It's been a really, really brutal stretch, and it definitely doesn't make his leverage goes down. I've always said the magic of Bryson is that he does both. He's on YouTube, he's doing all these challenges, he's doing this dance, and he's contending in the final round of major championships. When you lose part of it, you lose part of the magic.
And when you only have that other part, I think that's a little more embarrassing than having both.
Fair enough.
If I were his mental coach or his coach right now, I'd be like, maybe don't worry about anything else. Like, try to remember what it's like to be a kid on the golf course.
Yeah, and I think this can go one of 2 ways. I think, he's been waffling, or at least he says he's been waffling on whether he wants to continue to play pro golf or if he wants to go full-time into the amateur or into the YouTube game. So I feel like these struggles can go one of 2 ways. They can either make him think, man, I'm struggling here, and maybe I really do like YouTube, or it might light a fire under him that's like, fuck, man, I'm Bryson DeChambeau. Like, I got 2 major championships. I'm in my prime. I got an opportunity to be one of the all-time greats. Like, let's fucking go. I'm hoping it's the second one.
Even with everything going on, you would think coming into a golf tournament, he can just block it out and be like, it's me against this golf hole, me against this golf hole. He's capable of that. He's one of the greatest. Before that run ended, like after Pinehurst, he was in our top 3 people to win every major subsequently. So it's not just that he's not performing well or not winning these majors. He's not even making the cut.
Not even making the cut.
3 levels deeper.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 missed cuts. So 5 days after the USGA cowered when confronted on the reinstated pro epidemic, which is another epidemic like the plaque epidemic. Remember, 6 of the 8 quarterfinalists of the US Mid-Am, which I'm now calling the failed former Tour Pro Open, were reinstated amateurs. I saw a headline, and this is over in the UK, so it's the RNA. It's a different governing body with differing rules, but I guess they have the same leniency for tour pros who decide, hey, I'm going to be an amateur. I saw a headline that says a Mid-Am Stuart Green wins the amateur championship, and I was thrilled. How cool is that? A 33-year-old who took it to the college kids, won the game's oldest amateur title, and now earns invites into a bunch of majors. Nope. He was a professional golfer for 7 full years before deciding to become an amateur again in 2024 with the goal of playing on the Walker Cup team. With this win, he's going to do that. Look, he's obviously an exceptional player. He's also a former tour professional masquerading as a Mid-Am. I don't blame the guy. You got to take advantage of the rules. He's taking advantage of the rules, which apparently are as lenient in the UK as they are in the US. And he now gets to play in the Masters and the US Open and the Open Championship when he almost assuredly wasn't going to do that as a professional. But how can you tell me that it's not a backdoor? That this is in the spirit of the amateur game? You get a free run of pro golf, then you just say, I'm not a pro anymore. And less than 2 years later, you qualify for the Masters as an amateur? I mean, what are we talking about here? And nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change, by the way. So the USGA have gone totally spineless on this issue, in my opinion. So Luke Curtinine, we're balls and strikes guys. Unreal job here asking the question about this epidemic. Here's what the USGA had to say.
I have many friends that are reinstated amateurs that come through the mid-amateur game, and I think at the end of the day, do we want to welcome them back into the game? Every single individual's case is so different. So we've got a whole team of people that look at that. As you know, some of the qualification criteria has changed over time, and it'll probably continue to be tweaked over time as well. But at the end of the day, is the game better with those reinstated professionals, back in the amateur game in a reinstated way? I think the answer is yes.
I think the answer is no. And I think it's really, really simple. Amateur golf competitions are for people who never played professional golf. Period.
Pretty simple.
Black and white. Black and white. I mean, but people will say, oh, what about the amateurs these days? Like, they're making money. They're college kids. They haven't turned pro.
It's another direction.
Right, exactly. It's exactly right. Like Jackson Coyven, he's not going to be a pro. That amateur stuff's in the past. I mean,
what does it? Alan say your amateur status is like your virginity.
Your amateur status is like your virginity. Once it's gone, she gone, or he gone. It's just gone. I can't believe it. Just keeps happening. It keeps happening.
Well, it's the equivalent of
this guy was a professional golfer for 7 years, and stopped being a professional golfer 2 years ago. He's practicing golf. That was his job.
Again,
practicing like Victor Hovland.
Do you
cut?
Do it. Take advantage of the rule. You get TIO relief, and you get to put it in the fairway. We will not fault you for taking that relief, but we're going to point it out.
It's not a thing about, don't blame the player, blame the game. And I'm blaming the game.
I'm admittedly a little indifferent on this issue. I support.
Well, I have a personal vendetta against this because I'm trying to get into the mid-am game. And it's hard when you're playing against guys who played pro golf for 7 years and then decided 2 years ago, I'm going to be an amateur now. I don't know. I feel like I'm being gaslit that it's even like a topic for debate. And I also think it's hilarious that he started that answer with, well, I have many friends who are mid-ams.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
I have some friends with no legs, so I sit in the handicap seats on the bus.
Exactly. Okay, Ben, big week on the PGA Tour. No rest for the weary. The Travelers Championship is this week, and tomorrow, we've been previewing this, is the 15.5 hole challenge. For information on how to watch the challenge live or get tickets for the Travelers Championship, visit travelerschampionship.com. No rest for the weary. We got another big PGA Tour event. It's a signature event, so we got our guy Rick Gehman back on. Rick, what did you make of that United States Open and Wyndham Clark getting the W?
Can I do some self-promotion first and remind everyone that at Media Day last year, I won hole 15.5, the closest to the down. Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
Thank you. It is my shining golf moment of my life. So it was.
Did it go in?
Perfect timing. No, it was like 2 inches.
I mean, the fact that you got it on the ground, we've seen how small that thing is.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If it's on, it might be in.
Yeah, what'd you think of the US Open?
I thought it was fantastic, right? I think we talked about it last week. You know, Shinnecock is not necessarily a fair golf course. I think we saw a lot of that over the course of the week. I think that we saw the impossible task it is to kind of set up that venue with how quickly it can change. And the USGA did a very good job, all things considered. The 3 guys under par is fantastic. And then, you know, it seemed to be a who's who of just the hottest players on the PGA Tour. You know, Wyndham Clark was up there and Sam Burns was up there. And of course, Scotty was up there. And we've seen JT Poston win recently. He was hanging around. So it was really, it really ended up being just a lot of the hottest guys that we have on the circuit. And then the big names inside the top 10, top 15. I thought it was sound. Very well deserved victory for Wyndham.
Yeah, it was a really good watch. All right, moving into the Travelers, going to be a different week. This has been a bit of a birdie fest. I imagine you're expecting similar.
Yeah, they've softened the greens. They've made this a little bit easier over the last couple of years, and it's going to be very different than what we've had. Obviously, what we had last week, right? This is TPC River Highlands. It's 6,800 yards on the scorecard. You don't have to be long to get the job done. So it really opens up, guys. It opens up the field where basically anybody can have a chance of winning this thing.
All right, so give us your top 20 pick.
All right, we're going with Eric Cole. And Eric Cole has 2 main problems on the PGA Tour. He is short and he is crooked, and that does not play well, like anywhere. However, one of those is not going to be a problem this week. He doesn't have to be long, which is nice. He can just kind of keep it in play a bit. And you know, I look at his results from Colonial, runner-up finish there. It's a tree lines golf course. There's a penalty for missing the fairway. Okay, that's a good sign. He had an 8th place finish at Memorial. He's playing a lot better. The putter is absolutely scorching hot at the moment. The only thing we need Eric Cole to do is keep the ball in play off the tee, and I think he has a really good chance of finishing inside the top 20 of a 71-person field.
Yeah, with no Rory. All right, top 10 pick.
This is Brian Harmon. TPC River Highlands is a great horse venue. Guys that play well here often always play well here, and vice versa. If you can't figure it out, you cannot figure it out. Colin Morikawa is one of those guys. And Brian Harmon has 8 top 10s in his last 11 trips to TPC River Highlands. This is his best course on his schedule. Any other Brian Harmon course combo is not as good as Brian Harmon at TPC River Highlands. I also think his finish last week was fine. It was good, but it was a little bit wonky on Sunday. He played that up and down game where he made a big mess early in his round and kind of set his finishing position off the rails. But I think he played better than that final T32 or whatever it was indicated.
All right, and then take us home with a pick to win the tournament.
I have to duck when I say this, but it's Xander Schauffele.
Why do you have to duck?
This is tough. It's frustrating. Because he's the most frustrating player in the world to back. I mean, he looks like he is on the verge of victory every single time that he is teeing it up, and he does something silly to cost himself a championship. And the good news is he's playing well. He's putting a little bit better. That's really been the bugaboo for Xander over the course of the last year or so. And Xander's putting numbers at TPC River Highlands are the best of any course in his entire career. He gains nearly a stroke per round putting here. So if there's a time for him to figure it all out and put it together, this is a place he's won before. I think this is a place he can win again.
We have a polymarket pick, and last week, I think your polymarket pick was Rory McIlroy, and he got off to a really good start, and his odds went crazy. He was like up near the favorite. So I hope people listen, because we're not talking about winning the whole tournament. We're talking about someone who's going to get off to a good start. Maybe you can get out of it. You can trade. So you could have made some profit on Rory McIlroy. Who is our polymarket pick this week?
This is Patrick Cantlay. And again, questions around, can you get it across the finish line? That's kind of the thing with these polymarket situations where, you know, the liquidity means that you can get in and you can get out. So when you've got Patrick Cantlay, who is another fantastic course horse for TPC River Highlands, for a guy who's having the best year that he's had since at least 2023 or 2022, who often gets off to pretty decent starts, is often around the top of the leaderboard, but hasn't really been able to close it out in 4 years now. I think that he's a pretty interesting guy to go into the week and say, okay, I'm not trying to 30x my money by him actually winning this golf tournament. I can invest in Patrick Cantlay in a way where if he plays well, I can 3x, 4x, 5x, whatever that might be, and just kind of be more timely about it. So Patrick Cantlay is my polymarket pick of the week.
I love it, Rick. Good stuff you're doing for us. I appreciate you, my friend.
All right, I'll chat soon, guys. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Ben, we have a dog race.
We sure do. This week's Zone Dog Race comes off of a...
sorry about that. We have a Polymarket code. If you use code DOG20, you get a free $20. Just a free, it's that simple. Polymarket, code DOG20. Take back your Cantlay, like Rick told you. You get a free $20 to use and explore on Polymarket. All right, now let's move in to the dog race.
Now we're moving into the dog race. There's a theme that's been developing, and you touched on it earlier in the show. The youth in our sport has maybe never been more promising. So I want to enlist Danny Dollars here, and I want you to tell me, out of these 10 guys, who are you investing in perpetuity for the rest of their career?
Early investment?
Early investment. I want you to keep in mind,
funding.
not just the golf, who else is on the cap table, what else they might be getting into, where they're at. It all comes into play because you're with them for life.
Okay, well, you say like I'm buying stock in this guy.
Buying stock.
All right.
Literal.
Let's see it.
All right, are we going with the first matchup is going to be Kihei Akina against our boy Ryder Cowan, who just had one hell of a week.
Ryder Cowan's got some name recognition right now. He's got some name recognition because he was the co-low amateur at the United States Open. I'm going with Kihei Akina.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a BYU golfer, which is kind of throwback. They've had some great players back in the day. And also the name Kihei Akina. Kihei is the name of a town in Maui that I used to go to as a child.
Oh, cool.
It's a lovely place. And I think the name Kihei Akina just kind of jumps off the screen a little more. So if I'm in the marketing game, I'm going with Kihei Akina.
It's fun to say, and that's part of the reason he's on the list.
It is indeed.
But not the only reason. Okay, we going with Kihei, or are we going with a little bit of a Nepo investment here, Mr. Luke Poulter?
Ooh, I'm going with Luke. Luke is up in the top 5 of the world amateur rankings. He's going to be coming back to school. I know he had an opportunity maybe to go play on the DP World Tour because he's the highest rated, I think, European player or non-American player, something like that, where he could have taken through the GAP program. He's going to come back to Florida. Preston Stout's also coming back to Oklahoma State. I confirmed that this week. I'm going with Luke Poulter.
Okay.
Being the son of a legend, life's not fair. Nepotism. It's not nepotism because he earns his golf.
Yeah, I know.
But in terms of like the marketing ecosystem, there is a little bit more name recognition, so I'm going with Poulter Jr.
You got Ian on the cap table. Maybe a Lamborghini comes with the deal.
Right. Maybe we can get Ian involved.
Okay. What about Josiah Gilbert? You spoke a lot about this guy.
Yeah, Josiah Gilbert, the most Australian American ever. I'm sticking with Luke Poulter. I'm sticking with Luke. He's been a little bit more accomplished so far in college. Josiah's a great kid. He's got a big personality, but so does Luke. Luke's not afraid to mix it up. It's in the Poulter genes. I'm sticking with Luke Poulter.
Okay. Going with Poulter, or are you going?
I still am, but Josiah, like if he has success as an American and then he does an interview and people hear him talk, they're gonna be like, what's going on?
Highly marketable, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm still sticking with Luke Poulter.
Luke's got a good enough game. You can stick with him.
For sure.
All right, Ethan Fang, our favorite cutsman. Hats off to this guy.
Wow, his hat does really come off, huh? Yeah, he's a cutsman, full-time cutsman. I'm still sticking with Luke Poulter. I'm still sticking with LP. I feel like LP, limited partner. I want to be an LP in Luke Poulter Productions.
Love it. All right, we're getting into like the cream of the crop here. This is going to be some tough decisions. Preston Stout, you said he's staying in school?
Yeah, Preston Stout is a future golfsman. We use that term for very specific players, like a Charlie Hoffman. We use that for like a Harris English. I think Preston Stout's a future golfsman, like a Keith Mitchell. I think he's gonna make a lot of money in the PGA Tour. He's played a good amount of events against pros and hasn't really had much success. But you win 3 straight Big 12 titles, you win the NCAAs. He's already got the Huntington Bank, so we already got a head start. We already got some partners that we can leverage. Huntington Bank.
Here we are saying Huntington Bank again on the program.
Again, man, what a guerrilla marketing at its finest. I'm sticking with Preston Stout.
All right, Preston Stout's a blue chip pick. I know you have a soft spot for this next guy, Giuseppe Puebla.
He's very young, very, very young. Got his first taste of a major championship this week. He's 17 years old.
You'd be getting in mighty early.
I'd be getting in mighty early. He's also going to Florida. I love Florida. I love Coach Deacon. I love the Florida Gators program. I'm sticking with Preston Stout. He's just a bit more of a proven commodity right now.
Okay.
I see a little bit. It's like I want they don't have to be profitable yet, the company, but I want to see like some cash flow.
Right. Okay. Some cash flow. Well, this next guy certainly has that. Jackson Coyven.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a debate. I mean, Jackson definitely gets more media attention. He's won more times, but Preston, they match each other with all their individual conference titles, and Preston was able to win the NCAAs, which Jackson was not able to do, but I'm going with Jackson.
You saying Jackson's going to have more wins and major wins than Preston Stout in his career?
This is the classic. Is this guy going to win a major? And the answer is usually probably not.
Probably not.
4 per year. But yeah, I mean, Jackson finished in the top 30 this week. He's low amateur. He's ready to go. He's already proven it on the PGA Tour. Preston, I don't think he's made a cut yet against the pros. Jackson's had some real success, so I'm going with Jackson.
All right, Jackson, we know, or we're kind of certain, we hope he might thrive on the golf course. Charlie Woods, you're getting bang for your buck off the golf course no matter how well it goes. You picking him over Jackson?
I knew this was coming.
Yeah?
I knew Charlie was coming. I'm going to stick with Jackson.
Love it. Golf guy.
Yeah, I'm a golf guy. And look, at the end of the day, your golf has to be good, right? There's Jackie Jr. One of the Nicklaus sons was on the cover of Sports
Case in point,
right? And we don't hear from him much anymore. So I'm going to stick with Jackson Quivin. I want to see a little bit more out of Charlie. But if Charlie gets anywhere near Jackson's level of golf, Charlie's going to way surpass him.
That's next level.
Still got to see it.
All right. Well, are you sticking with Jackson, or will you go with the young boy Miles Russell into the future?
I think Miles Russell's really special.
Me too.
I'm going to go with Miles Russell. I think he's really special. I think to be doing it at 17 is incredible. He's already proven it in tour events. He's made the cut in PGA Tour events. He's finished in the top 20 in the Corn Ferry Tour as a child. Jackson's had 3 years of college. Miles Russell was just finished his junior year in high school, so they're 4 years apart, and they played together. It was shot for shot. I think Jackson clipped him by 2. They played together on Saturday and Sunday, and I think Jackson beat him by 2 in the end. So I think Miles Russell's the real deal. Now, again, there's been other phenoms at 17 who have kind of fallen off. Sure. Ty Tryon comes to mind, but I don't see it with Miles Russell.
I don't see it either. He's got the whole package. Like, he's so well spoken already. He's got a good head on his shoulders.
I think he's a lefty too, which makes you a little bit more marketable.
There you go.
I'm going Miles Russell.
Good choice. I thought he might win this race.
He's Miles Russell.
Congrats to Miles Russell. Give us a call. Get us on the table, man.
I think I think Miles Russell's the real deal. I think he's special. Chirps were unbelievable this week. Yeah. Unbelievable this week. We have to give before we get into the golf chirps, we have to just give a little nod to soccer Twitter. This last month has been, the Endrick Ancelotti memes. We probably sent each other 15 over the last 12 hours. Be a cow or put Endrick in the game, and then it's just him as a cow. It's just.
And you don't really even need to know the context.
I had this exact same thing with my buddies at Golf Digest in the group chat. They were like, "Have you guys seen the Endrick Ancelotti memes?" We're like, "What are you talking about?" It takes one paragraph to explain that Ancelotti is the manager, Endrick is this phenom. The Brazilian media fans, they really want Endrick to play. Ancelotti won't play him. Also didn't play him when he was the manager at Real Madrid. And then boom, go. And then you're good.
Unlimited format.
So Twitter's been incredible, but we're going to do the golf Twitter because that's what we do on this show. Let's start with Rory was the screensaver. Rory McIlroy hitting from the Windows XP default wallpaper. That is an incredible eye. That is like art but sports, but digital art but sports.
Art but make it 2000s AOL.
That is really what it looks like. And there were so many of these. There were so many of these shots from behind the guy. I remember there were some of them from like behind 10 green where you just see a hill and you see a pin and then you see nothing else, and it looked like it was like an infinity pool was going on. The visuals were awesome. Speaking of art but sports, we have one. Jordan Spieth and the Heather. This is The Veteran in a New Field by Winslow Homer from 1865. Perfect.
Wow.
This guy says that he doesn't use AI. He says he's just got like a canonical memory.
I respect the shit
out of that. That is an incredible one. Harry Higgs' shirt. If from no laying up, if Harry Higgs' shirt, if he makes one more birdie, that's like a erotic, like the curve there. I shouldn't.
There's clavage happening.
That one makes me a little uncomfortable.
I've been calling Harry Higgs one of the best dressed golfers in the sport since before I even knew you, Dan, because of this fact, because he always goes one button less.
Keith Mitchell
than is socially acceptable.
Keith Mitchell's got the big placket. He was unbuttoning.
He's got 5.
I just like saying placket because you know what it is. The Bryson Slam. Charles Windsor IV says DeChambeau is chasing his own slam this week. The Bryson Slam missing all 4 major cuts in the same year. There's a little bit of pressure on him going into Birkdale.
Might get a plaque.
Michael Griffin. This is the most miserable guy on Twitter who's always tweeting like, "You fucking suck. What a loser you are."
Oh yeah, the better.
I think he actually went positive here. He had money on Matt Fitzpatrick, and 15 of 16 tweets were, "You suck. Has this guy ever hit a fairway? Get in the gym." But this one says, "Matt Fitzpatrick, proper finished bloke, good form, old chap."
With little punctuation too.
So he's a balls and strikes guy, just like we are. This one really hit home about Dustin Johnson. Big content guy says, as a huge Dustin Johnson fan, this is tough to watch. It's like when your older dog can't jump on the couch anymore. Buddy was not doing so hot a couple months ago. My dog, who's like 12, 13 years old, couldn't jump on the couch anymore. But this story has a happy ending. We took him to the vet and we said, he's got arthritis in his knees. They gave him a shot. It's called Librela. This is not an ad. But if Librela wants to get in the DMs, I'm not sure there's a huge market for it, but if you guys want to spend money, that's fine. We gave him the shot. He's like a spry chicken. He's jumping on the couch.
What is it? Can I get some?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the VJ Singh deer antler spray.
Yeah, I need that for my lower back.
I think it's like a painkiller, but they inject it into you. Yeah, and he's back. He's totally back. Shinnecock logo change. Someone wants to change the logo at Shinnecock to the. Do you get that or no?
Yeah, because the Guardians.
Yes, you got it. I wasn't sure you were going to get it. Logo changed since the last U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills, and it's just the Guardians logo with the Nets. Weather. Christopher Powers says the U.S. Open might just be the British Open now. completely weathermogging the claret jug. Leave it to America to handle the dirty work. I love CP, always mixing it up.
Good forecast next month.
I thought that was a bird. Look like
his hat flying.
It looked like a seagull, though. Doesn't that look like a seagull standing on his arm?
Oh my God, yeah, like the bottom.
Yeah, I thought that was I was like, that's the most incredible picture I've ever seen. Where is that? And then finally, John Rahm, he must have been torn. He must have been torn because Spain beat Saudi Arabia 4-0. Shane Ryan says, a bad week for Rahm gets worse. Not only does he miss the cut at the U.S. Open, but now his team is getting crushed.
Oh, his team's getting crushed.
It's a great.
Shane, you're the man.
We're going to finish with we'll talk about zone. Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale is prohibited. And when you play golf, you know the competition can get pretty heated. The same goes for the all-new flavor of Zone nicotine pouches. Jalapeno lime. It's a burst of citrus meets a subtle, fiery kick. We have a jalapeno lime right behind me. Each pouch is a premium nicotine experience with intensity and flavor that lasts, and they're now available in 6 and 9 milligrams. Do you want Zone pouches at a discount mailed right to your door? You probably do. You can get 20% off exactly that at nicokick.com/zone. NICOKICK.com/zone when you use the promo code DanOnGolf20. We are going to leave you with our clip of the week. You know, we made a couple jokes off air about the word Shinnecock, and there was always going to be someone out there who just got it wrong. And this woman got it wrong in the most hilarious way. We're going to be back on Wednesday. We got a big show on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about schedule changes. We got a couple big interviews. That's six days in a row streaming for us, which is a new record. So I've loved it. I've enjoyed doing it with you all. Again, like and subscribe if you're here with us. I love all of you very much. Enjoy our clip of the week. We'll see you on Wednesday.
And it's already been a year since Oakmont Country Club hosted the 125th U.S. Open. It'll be back here in Western PA in 2033. This summer, Long Island, New York is on the spotlight with Shinnecock Hills hosting the 126th U.S. Open.